Ever seen a little Patrick Swayze vehicle by the name of Roadhouse? Swayze plays a bouncer who knows martial arts or something and works as a cooler at the Double Deuce, a roadside bar where anything goes, from hard drinking to brawls and maybe even the destruction of tables. New Era Field in Orchard Park, New York is the Roadhouse of the NFL, and there is no cooler to keep people in line. It's home to the rowdiest fans in American sports, a gutsy team led by a rough and tumble quarterback with a cannon arm only matched by the velocity at which dildos fly from the stands, and a parking lot where folding tables come to die. Is it a perfect venue? No, but it's one of the most charming and certainly among the grittiest in football, with enough history to make it a legitimate football monument. Even with all this, the semi-nameless aging stadium is in danger. Bills Stadium is football's majestic Double Deuce, where anything goes, but it's not going anywhere. Why the NFL's Roadhouse is here to stay is coming up right after this. This video is brought to you by Manscape.com. Look, during these weird times, you gotta keep your boys in shape and properly groomed. But on top of that, you gotta package them correctly. That's why Manscaped created the Perfect Package 3.0, which includes the new Lawnmower 3.0 water-resistant body trimmer made with advanced skin-safe technology. This kit has everything: Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, Crop Reviver Ball Toning Spray, and my favorite, the custom Manscaped Anti-Chafing Boxer Briefs. Look, if you're gonna venture out into the world, you want to present to whoever that lucky person is properly, and these bad boys keep things cool with crop cooling technology and is made from super soft Contour Flex technology that promotes breathability and repels that nasty moisture. All of this works in tandem with the products I just mentioned for an optimal comfort experience. Purchase them all together at manscaped.com and opt for the peak hygiene plan and get new boxers delivered to your door every replenishment cycle. Like I said, go to manscaped.com, 5-points, and get the Perfect Package 3.0 for 20% off, free shipping, and 2 free gifts. Manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. Before the Bills became the tragic losers of 4 straight Super Bowls and the owners of a 17-year playoff drought to kick off the 21st century, they were a powerhouse unit in the American Football League. Playing in War Memorial Stadium, a multi-purpose structure nicknamed the Rock Pile that would eventually become the shooting location for The Natural, the Bills won back-to-back AFL titles in 1964 and 65. Perhaps they were unlucky in that they missed the chance to contend for the inaugural Super Bowl by just a year, but they were 2-time champs nonetheless. The 1970 AFL-NFL merger dictated that stadiums hold a minimum capacity of 50,000 seats, and at just 47,000 at Memorial, it was time to pack up and move, their success fading as they cleaned out their locker room. Their new home would be a 71,000-seat Orchard Park venue called Rich Stadium, named after Rich Products, a Buffalonian food brand. Ralph Wilson matched Rich's $1.25 million offer to name the stadium simply Buffalo Bills Stadium, but the county legislature gave the rights to the Foodies, and the name would remain the same for a quarter century. There's also the matter of an alleged curse. When the stadium was being built, there was a small family cemetery just outside the parking lot, a series of marked graves belonging to the Sheldon family, who buried their dead in that cemetery from the 1830s up until the Second World War. Ralph Wilson did the right thing. He didn't move the cemetery and exhume those bodies in repose, but it did force him to rotate the direction of the stadium. That meant the open ends of the stadium would be downwind of Lake Erie, creating brutal winds that make kicking a football like playing Operation with Michael J. Fox. I am going to hell. There's no denying that twist of fate has changed the outcomes of many games. But is it the reason for the other pain? 4 straight Super Bowl squander, Thurman Thomas missing helmet, the alleged lateral from Frank Wycheck? Who knows? Maybe the Sheldons? If you're wondering why old Bills highlights look like they're being played on a ping pong table, that's because the stadium immediately opted for AstroTurf over natural grass, creating a flat-looking, toe-destroying surface. Sadly, Rich Stadium housed a team of losers for its first 15 years, despite qualifying and falling short in the playoffs a handful of times. Rich didn't host a playoff game until the 1988 season, when the Bills beat a 13-3 Houston Oilers team in front of a crazed group of fans, many of whom were attending their first postseason game. Fittingly, the first play of the game resulted in a fight, the 79,532 fans in attendance already calling for blood all the while. Of course, that was not the most memorable game between these two teams. The up-and-down roller coaster of success and failure would give rise to one of the craziest bands of insane fans in all of sports. The Double Deuce would get its new regulars. Cut to 1993. The Bills had already played in 2 straight Super Bowls, losing both. The squad of starting quarterback, Jim Kelly. Future Colts head coach and Kelly's backup, Frank Reich, found himself in a 35-3 hole in the third quarter. Even Bills fans, perhaps the most loyal in the league, had headed for the exits. And then, magic. Flipped a collective U-turn and tried to re-enter the stadium to witness history. When they were denied at the turnstiles, they climbed the chain link fences and returned to their seats. The game, dubbed simply the comeback, became legend, and everyone in Buffalo claimed to have seen it in person. 70,000 people were at that game, Bills coach Marv Levy said. I've already met 400,000 of them. They lost the next 2 Super Bowls, but the era of prosperity in Buffalo ended, the door being shut by Kevin Dyson and the Titans in 1999. But as the Bills suffered a 17-year playoff drought from 2000 to 2016, the fans remained in the stands and certainly in the parking lot. The age of camera phones and social media allowed the world to see Bills fans as the crazed lunatics they are, in the best sense of the term. Bills Mafia rose to prominence, and their stadium, renamed Ralph Wilson Stadium in 1998, was their safe house. The name #Bills Mafia arose in 2010 from a Twitter beef with news anchor Adam Schefter, who began to block Bills fans en masse after they believed Schefter held some bias towards Buffalo. Bills fans embraced their sense of organized movement of retribution against him, and the term #Bills Mafia became an appropriate rallying cry to immortalize the feeling. Bills Mafia may have been vicious online, but they're unparalleled in person. The Ralph Wilson parking lot became the drinking of 100 proof alcohol out of bowling balls, fans lighting themselves aflame, and of course the rampant destruction of fold-out tables. The lot was populated by characters like Pinto Ron, who hasn't missed a Bills game, home or away, since 1994, and the late Pancho Villa, a superfan whose dedication to the team was emblematic to the Mafia. At the start of the 2018 season, Erie County tried to be Dalton, saying those who took part in the Buffalonian sacrament of table slamming would be arrested. Something about it being dangerous, I guess. Will that last? Who knows? Like Michael Corleone and Officer McCluskey, the police are no match for the Mafia. Anyways, here's Bills owner Kim Pegula doing shots at a tailgate in 2019. And here's to the hatchet throwing station they installed that same season, because you know what's safer than a table? A blacked out Bills fan throwing a hatchet. And even with craziness like this on the outside, it's the building itself which is in the most jeopardy. It's unmistakably their home, but the nest has been threatened in the past and present. Commissioner Roger Goodell in 2016 essentially said that a new stadium would be key to keeping the Bills in Buffalo. The reason why I'm supportive of a new stadium is because I want to make sure this franchise remains stable here and continues and remains competitive, Goodell said. We've been able to do these stadiums in such a way that it creates a tremendous economic benefit too. But fans and the county that owns the stadium don't want a new home. They just want to improve their current one. We know if we can extend the lifespan of that stadium for another 25 years, and if it worked for our market, why would we not do that? Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz said about the NFL's desire for a new stadium. Buffalo did it before, and they can do it again. The stadium was renovated or altered first in 1984, then in 1992, 94, 2003, 2007, and finally the team was granted $130 million in 2013 to renovate. The stadium got 2 new LED replay boards, larger entrance gates, more concessions, a new team store, and a life-size statue of the late, great Ralph Wilson. The NFL clearly wants a new home to drive revenue for a small market team, but the Bills and their fans deserve a stadium as gritty as they are. When the San Francisco 49ers moved from historic Candlestick to Levi Stadium all the way to Santa Clara, the overpriced corporate monument neutered the rabid spirit of the 49ers fans. And the new draconian rules prohibit any sort of tailgating in the parking lot whatsoever. That can't and won't happen to Bills fans. They belong in their stadium, not a new sanitized one that prioritizes corporate interests and suites over the hard-working, courageous, and extremely flammable mafiosos of Buffalo. There are plans for a new stadium, but upon closer inspection, plans might be a strong word. There's no set location, no specifications, and no contracts awarded. In other words, get used to New Era Field or whatever it's about to be renamed. But perhaps it's best to call it the Double Deuce, the rowdy bar from Roadhouse that best explains the experience of attending a Bills game in person. And not even Patrick Swayze could cool the Bills Mafia. Like Frank Reich and the boys in the '92 wildcard game, they'll always be coming back.
50% this season from between 30 and 40, as you saw.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like and comment down below on how much you loved it. And don't forget to check out our sponsor, Manscape, from the link below. I'm 5 Points Vids, and you made it to my next video.